So what we have discussed yesterday, a few points about yesterday's class. ఏం డిస్కస్ చేసాం ఏంటి yesterday? So what are the main three major responsibilities of any DevOps engineer?
Configuration management, CI/CD, and we need to
Infrastructure
collaborate.
as a code,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yesterday we
Okay.
have discussed the roles of developer and operations side. We have
Right.
discussed a few different users, like users in the sense admin side, developer, tester,
Okay. Okay.
sysadmin, DB admin, storage admin, network admin.
Yeah, yeah. So what is the benefit
What
with
are
containerization technology?
For containerization we are using Docker, so it will be it will be useful for to deploy the uh, project in a quick way.
So if you want to create a server
Yeah,
within
we can
seconds,
create it.
you can go ahead and use
Yes.
containerization technology, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now today, let's dedicate our time to learn about servers. Okay. Now,
Yes.
the first question is, what is the server? What is a server, sir? Anyone? Anyone from the class,
Server is
offline or
a
online?
machine. Server is a
Server is a
machine which
okay.
is configured with the hardware and softwares and applications
Mhm.
with required whatever we have required for the purpose only. So however, anywhere we can see we are using multiple online apps and even ATM also, for them also one machine is required.
Mhm. Okay. Good. Good. Any other answers? No. Okay. Let me give you a brief then. Better to be in a comfortable. Let me. So I used to use this for my Linux machine. And as I said, I'm not comfortable with Windows. I'm habituated to use Linux machine. So everyone knows about operating system, right? I won't be asking you the definition, but I hope you guys understand operating system, right? That's operating system. Tilida. Sir, what is operating system? No need to give the definition. Anything that you understand about operating system.
Yeah, operating system is
Windows.
a
You're using Windows,
yeah
right?
Windows,
Yeah,
Linux.
if you want to interact with the machine hardware, machine is having, right? If you want to interact with machine, how you will be interacting? Interacting through operating system, which understand human language and converts it to the machine understandable
Machine
language.
language.
It will take the output from it and then it convert the output to human readable language. That is our operating system, right? Right. Now, what are the operating systems that you know? Any operating
Uh,
system that you know?
uh,
Name the operating
Windows,
system.
Windows, Linux.
Operating system names.
Operating system is a combination of software and
Oh, that's fine.
hardware
That's fine.
peripheral.
Okay, done with the definition. Just I'm asking you the names of the operating system.
Windows operating system, Linux operating
Windows, very
system,
good. Then,
Linux,
very good.
Unix.
Unix or Linux, both are same nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm. Windows, Linux, Mac, Android,
Yeah, Android.
iOS, all these are what? Operating systems, right? Okay. Now, so I'm having a laptop with me, right? I'm having Windows operating system. Can I convert my Windows machine as a server? Sir, can I convert my laptop as a server?
Sure, sir. You can convert your machine as a virtual server.
Hmm. Okay. Let me try to put this as simple as possible. Okay. Operating systems are two types. If you want to categorize, the entire operating systems are two types. It comes with two different variants. Okay. The first variant we call it as a desktop variant. Okay. The first one is called as desktop variant. The second is called as server variant. Okay. So if you install desktop kind of variant operating system on your machine will become as desktop. If you install server operating system, your machine will become as server. Of course, if I want to configure my laptop as server, then what I need to do? I need to install server variant. Okay, we are using Windows, right? We are very much familiar with Windows, you guys. So Windows is coming with Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows XP, Windows Vista. All these are desktop variants. Okay, and likewise, we do have server variants as well. Okay, let me write them as well. Okay, so Windows comes with Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 11, Windows XP, something. Okay, what are all these? All these are desktop variants. Likewise, Windows comes with server variants also. Okay, Windows 2000, Windows 2007, Windows 2011. It comes with server variant also. So if you install server kind of operating system on your machine will become a server. As simple as that. Server is nothing but an operating system. Okay, likewise, Linux also. Okay, it, it comes with two different variants, desktop variant and server variant. Okay, so if you install server variant of operating system, your machine will become as server. That's it. Okay, I hope I'm clear, right? Okay, now suppose now I want to configure a server. The first thing is what are the things that are required for me? The first thing is if I want to configure a server, I require a machine, right? Machine consists of what? Hardware. Hardware consists of what? Hmm? Hardware, sir. CPU, RAM, hard disk, motherboard, everything comes under hardware. So on top of this hardware, now if I install server operating system, I can call it as server. That's what I said, right? Server operating system. Suppose now this is called as a server. Okay, you can name this one as server. Clear? If you are calling a machine as server, which means as of now your understanding is on top of hardware they have installed server operating system. That's why it is called as server. Okay. Now tell me I am having a hardware, a machine. Hardware is nothing but a machine, right? So on top of it, I have installed Windows Server Operating System. I have installed Windows Server Operating System. Let's say Windows Server OS. Now, can I call this one as server? Flocha in server running? Yes, it is server because it is having server operating system. Can I call this one as Windows Server? Yes, specific to that one. So if I install Linux server operating system, can I call it as a server? Yes. Can I call it as a Linux server specifically? Yes. Okay. Which means from now onwards, if you say hard server means it contains some server operating system. That is the first thing. And we need to understand what kind of server operating system that it is having. Linux server or Windows server. Okay. Now, uh, imagine I have taken a hardware and on top of it I have installed some server operating system. Now I want to deploy some web application. I want to deploy a web application. Okay, a normal server cannot have the capability to serve the applications. As of now, web application. Okay, we need to provide that capability. How we'll be providing the capability? Okay, if your server wants to serve any web application, okay, we need to install a web server on top of it. Okay, we need to configure a web server on top of it. If you install a web server on top of it, then your server will become, or it will gain the capability to serve the web applications, so that on top of it you can deploy your web applications, your apps. Okay, so somebody is giving you application and ask you to deploy. Where you will be deploying? You're deploying on top of server. First we will ask, where is the hardware? If you get the hardware, then on top of it, we will be asking, is your application is anything platform dependent or not? Okay, if you say yes, it is dependent, platform dependent, it requires a Linux machine. Then we will be installing a Linux server operating system. On top of it, what you need to do? Simply you need to configure a web server. Okay, how to configure a web server? First question. Okay, so if you install a web server related package, you can call it as a web server. Clear? Now, can I call this machine as a web server? Yes, right? IIS is a package in Windows. If you want to configure a web server, in Linux you can use Apache or HTTPD. Some packages are there. I'll show you in coming days. But as of now, just understand. If you install web server related package, then your application or your server is capable of serving your applications. Okay. Can I call this one as web server? Yes. Okay. Can I call this one as a Linux server if I install Linux machine? Yes. Can I call it as a server? Yes. Okay. Now somebody asks you to configure a database server. Now what is your approach? Okay, you got an email or a ticket by saying, hey, configure a database server. Then first requirement, go like this incremental way. Okay, step by step. The first thing is, where is the hardware? Okay, if even it, okay, we are having the hardware in our data center or in our local area, that's fine. In our office, fine. Or we are having a hardware in cloud. First thing we need to get to know. Okay, on top of it, next, what is required? A server operating system, right? Suppose they said we require Linux server operating system. Right? Okay, so I install Linux server operating system. Now I want to configure a database server so that it can serve database applications. Now, how to configure my server as a database server? How you configured your server as a web server? What you have done? You have installed a web server related package. Yes or no? Hmm? Now I am asking you. I want to configure a database server. Now, what you need to do? Not web server. I want database server. Servers are different. Okay. Let me list out different servers. Okay. Not avoid the confusion. Anyways, you are in confusion mode, right? Okay. So there is a guy in front of me who is from fashion technology. So there are different servers: web server, application server, database server. Okay, and mail server, uh, storage server. Okay, like this, so many servers. Okay, etc., 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 etc. Okay, now I am asking you got a ticket. Now I am asking you to configure a database server. Now what you need to do? If you install database server package on top of your machine, then your machine will become as database server. On top of it, you can deploy your database applications. Yes or no? Now, it is very important to know what are the different database servers that you know. Databases. Yesterday I asked you about programming languages. Some have said Java, Python, PHP, .NET, something, something. Now I am asking about databases. What are the different databases that you know? Okay. When you come to Amirpet, so many data boards you might have seen, all right? Somewhere you might have read about some databases. MySQL. I give you an example. Apart from MySQL, others online. Any database technologies that you know. So it's very, very important to know because as a DevOps engineer, we need to work with so many databases. At least you should have some idea, right? Ravi, Lokesh is there?
PLSQL.
Not PLSQL. Okay, that is different. That is a language. Hmm. And there is a big company in Hyderabad, na? No one knows
Oracle.
it. Uh-huh. Who is that?
Oracle.
Oracle. Yeah, Oracle. Telida? Huh? Chapandi first. Tell me for the different databases that you know. MySQL, MySQL server. Next, we have SQL server. Okay, we have Oracle. We have MS SQL. Okay, we have Postgres. SQL is the language. Okay, don't get confused about SQL and other things. Okay, Postgres again, MongoDB, Netezza, HBase. I don't want to go that much, but okay, like this, so many databases are there. Okay, anyways, we started this topic, so I don't want to close this topic just to give you a brief idea. Okay, about the databases. Okay, uh, it's not that much required, but it's very good to have that knowledge. Okay, anyways, we are learning, right? We are learning from scratch. We need to learn it properly. Okay, so if you want to categorize the entire databases, okay, these databases we can categorize into two. Okay, all the databases we can categorize into two. The first one is called as RDBMS. Second one is called as simple non-RDBMS. RDBMS means Relational Database Management System. Non-RDBMS means non-relational database management systems. Okay, I don't want to go in depth, but okay, here in RDBMS, relational database means we'll be having some data as common across different tables. Suppose if you have two tables, okay, users table, orders table. For example, if it is an e-commerce application, okay, users contains what? The first column is user ID, right? If it is users table, users ID, users underscore ID and you'll put. But if it is orders database, orders underscore ID, because it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, right? Okay, suppose if you want to maintain data, I am asking you to write the student names. How you will write? You'll take a paper and then put 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers like that, right? The same way you also put 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay. Now, which user has ordered which items? Orders will be available on orders database. You only user data, username, user ID, user is male or female, but the user's phone number will be available on users database. Now, how will you link these users to this order? Which user is ordered which items? Okay, so orders is containing another thing called as user ID again. Okay, within the user ID, it will mention user number 4 ordered. The next column will be items. So within the items, they'll mention something your favorite items. Santur soap, Colgate paste, something. Who has ordered this? This order ID is having this one. Order ID is number 1, but user ID is number 5. User ID 5 ordered these items. Okay, how it is linking with the user ID? User ID is of another table, right? Okay. Likewise, so many tables would be there that are interlinked. Okay. The first one is called as primary key. The second one is called as foreign key. But forget about it. Just it is having link with other tables. That's what it's called as relation. It is having relation with other table, right? That's why it is called as RDBMS. Okay. There are some databases which we call as non-RDBMS, which doesn't have any relations. Okay. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have these items. Everything will be there. Everything will be on a single row. This user, this ID, this completely will be on a single line of item. Okay. Now, I'll list out the technologies which comes under RDBMS. Okay, MySQL, all the database technology which you know, right? Oracle, MS SQL, Postgres. So all this comes under RDBMS. Okay, it was the most older and popular databases. But nowadays, non-RDBMS is getting so much of popularity. Okay, so non-RDBMS, I said MongoDB is very popular. Okay, HBase, and we have Netezza. Okay, and some other databases are there. Netezza and some graph database is there. I'm not getting the name of that one. But yeah, like this, it is getting so much of popularity nowadays, and there are so many non-RDBMS machines also there. Cassandra, which also comes under non-RDBMS. Okay, now the language to interact with these databases is used as that is known as SQL, structured query language. SQL is the language to interact with RDBMS machines. Okay, if you want to connect with Chinese guy, you need to learn Chinese. German guy, they don't know English, right? So you need to connect with German language. Like that, if you want to interact, if you want to ask how many orders for this user, I want to get to know how many orders in the previous month Ravi has ordered. Okay, that entire data will be available with the database. Imagine there is a Chinese guy. How do you interact with him? With China language, Chinese, right? Okay, so like this, if you want to interact with RDBMS, we need to have a language called, we are having a language called SQL. And now there is a language for this non to interact with non-RDBMS machines, which is called as, any guesses? No SQL. SQL is no SQL. That's it. Okay. Now clear? Right. Now where we are? Huh. So if I want to configure a database server, now I'll ask which database that you want. Which database server? Suppose you said I want MySQL database server. So you'll be installing MySQL database server on top of it so that you can deploy applications like tables and other stuff. Databases, tables on top of it. Okay. Now if I can't, so you got a ticket to configure a mail server. Now what is your approach? You tell me this time. I have given two examples, right? Now somebody asks you to configure a mail server. Then what is your approach or what are the steps that you will follow? Online team. Yeah, Bijit, if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead. Lokesh, I want to hear you from you, man. I want to hear from you.
Microsoft Exchange Server.
Okay, that's what's not Microsoft Excel. I'm not asking, but somebody asked
Exchange.
you to create a configure a database server. Not database server, mail server. Then what is your approach? Let me put it on the screen. Look at the screen and tell me. What you do, sir? First, చెప్పండి మెయిల్ సర్వర్ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేయమన్నాడు టికెట్ వచ్చింది మీకు చెప్పండి ఐ వాంట్ హియర్ ఫ్రమ్ యూ వై డేటాబేస్ సర్వర్ వై so first thing we'll ask where is the hardware. Once you find the hardware, next we'll install what kind of operating system required. We'll install operating system. Now we'll install something called as mail server, right? So we'll install a package, we'll find the package and we'll install the mail server on top of it. Then on top of that you can have your mail applications. Got it? Now I ask you to install application server then. Now tell me this approach. Database, why database again? I ask you to create, this time I want to configure application server. Then first you take the hardware and on top of it you install operating system. You'll ask it what kind of operating system they want, server operating system. And then on top of it, you will install application server package. Any confusion? Why database server again? Not required, no? Clear? If you install a web server, it called as a web server. If you install database server, it calls a database server. If you install mail server, it calls a mail server. Okay. Now I want you to configure a storage server. This time tell me. For examples I have given. This time tell me. I want you to configure a storage server. ఏం చేస్తారు? స్టోరేజ్ సర్వర్ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేయమన్నా మిమ్మల్ని. వాట్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్? Okay. You'll find the hardware. We'll install a server operating system and then install server storage server related application, storage server related package, no? Then it called the storage server. Is there any confusion? Simple, no? 3 steps. One is hardware. Second thing is operating system. Which kind of hardware that you want? Third thing is whatever the server package what server that you want, you install same the server related package. Okay, somebody asked you, okay, so I have installed mail server. Okay, what does it contain? Can I call it as a mail server? Yes, you can call it as a mail server because you installed mail server related package. Can I call it as a Linux server? If it is having a Linux operating system, yes, of course you can call Linux server. Can I call it as a server? Yes, you can name it as server. So whatever the terminology in industry they use, you need to understand clearly. Somebody said application server, which means that doesn't contain hardware. That definitely contains hardware. Okay. Will it contain operating system? Yes, it contains the operating system. You need to understand what kind of operating system that it is having. Okay. Clear? Because our entire course depends on this. We will be working with so many servers. Okay. In future, I'll ask you to create a web server. Then what you'll do?
Either it can be Microsoft Linux, then web server.
We'll be installing, first we'll be taking hardware, on top of it we'll be installing a server operating system, and then we'll be installing a package, web server package. Understand my terminology, no? Installing web server related package. Your answer should be clear, it should not be one word, a single word. You have to frame the sentence, no? You should learn. That's how you need to answer in the interviews. Okay. Right? So I used to conduct the interviews in my company. I know. Okay. Even if you say single word answer, I can understand whether you know the subject or not. But at least you should frame the sentence now. Right? Just give me a second. Now I'm putting heading. Very, 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 very important thing. Let me go with the heading. Linux. What is it? Linux. What is Linux? Well known definitions. Linux. What is Linux? What is Windows?
Sorry.
Operating system. What is Linux?
It's an operating system.
It's an operating system. Okay. Now. Okay. So anyways, I'll start with a little history of Linux. Okay. Who invented this? On which year? Doesn't require. Okay. You Google it, you can. Okay. That's not the thing. Okay. Okay. In the earlier days. Okay. People from AT&T Bell Labs. It is a very, very good company, like R&D company, which is having headquarters at London, I guess. AT&T Bell Corporation. Okay. They have introduced an operating system. Before to that, they are having some operating systems. I don't want to talk about it, but they are having operating system. Only one user can log in at a time and they can work. Okay. Suppose that if you want to access it, you cannot access it. Only one user can access a machine. Okay. So with Unix, what they have done is multi users can log in and they can use it. Okay. It is an open source. Open source means anybody can use it. You don't need to have any license or something. Windows is open source. They'll put you in jail. Windows is not open source. Cracking the license. Windows is not open source. Okay, Windows is licensed one. Okay, I don't know whether this machine is licensed one or not, but if they'll be filing a case on us. Okay, there are chances. Lies like that. Okay. So, anyways, so they have given this as open source so that anybody can use it. Okay. Now in market there are some dalaris. You know dalaris? Dalari. No dalari? Okay. Right. Tell they'll purchase from the farmers and then they'll be having some deal with the farmers. They'll be getting all the vegetables and they'll be selling high price to end customers, right? Yes or no? Likewise, okay. In market there are some big companies. What they have done is they have adopted this Unix. They have taken this Unix and they have developed their own version of operating system. Okay, companies like, I'm sorry if anybody is from HP or IBM. Okay, my past company was IBM, but anyways, HP, IBM, and Sun Microsystems. Like this, some companies are there. What they have done, they have taken this HP, they have taken this Unix, they have adopted this, and on top of it, they have added some other packages, okay, which works on only their hardwares. Okay, so they have developed an operating system which is called as HP Unix. Okay, why they have developed their own version? The first thing is, if you take the Unix operating system, if you want some support, something goes wrong, you will be asking. Whom you will be asking? It is open source, right? So you need to think some open source community. You don't get any support. But on going to corporate level, if you get any, if I get stuck here with my system, okay, immediately I can contact what is this machine? It's, Intel or Lenovo. I can contact Lenovo guys. They'll give me support. Right? Warranty ఉంటుంది కదా, వారంటీ విన్నారా? ఏమైనా జరిగితే వాళ్ళు వచ్చి వర్క్ చేస్తారు. Okay, if you take Unix operating system, something goes wrong, then who will come to support? Nobody will come. Okay, so that's why they have developed their own operating system, which is called as HP Unix. Okay, and it works on only HP hardware. It doesn't run any other hardware. Okay, if somebody companies goes, they'll say you need to purchase my hardware so that you can run this machine. Okay, right? And then IBM, they have developed an operating system called AIX. On top of Unix, they have added some more packages which especially works on IBM hardware. Okay, Sun Microsystem, they have developed their own operating system on top of Unix, which is called as Sun Solaris. Okay, and these are licensed one. All licensed one, and they need to purchase their hardware. And if you get stuck anywhere, they'll come and they'll resolve the issue. They'll provide you the support. Okay, it went on so many years. After that, in university, there is a person called Linus Torvalds or something. His name is there. Somebody has developed one operating system. Again, it is open source. Okay, you can install it on any hardware, which runs on any hardware. The operating system name itself is named as Linux. It's also developed on top of Unix. They have added some other GUI to that or something on top of it, added some other features which can run on any platform. Okay, which we call as Linux, and it has given open source. Okay, now that was history of Linux. Linux came. Okay, now even this Linux is having different flavors. It is open source, right? Anybody can develop an operating system on top of Linux. You can add your own flavor according to your requirement. You can take Linux for free, and on top of it, whatever the package that you want to use for your company, you can use it. You can put it. Okay, what are the different Linux flavors that you know? Linux flavors. Have you ever heard about any flavors
Ubuntu,
in Linux?
Ubuntu,
Okay, now tell me. Huh? Sir, what is that, Abhijit?
Ubuntu, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, anyways, time came for flavors, right? What are the ice cream flavors that you know? Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Lot. Tell me. Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Only three, you know. Uh, mango. Okay, fruit flavors. Okay, imagine this Linux as ice cream. Okay, ice creams are different flavors. Like Linux also have different flavors. Okay, you can develop your own flavor, and you can put a cream stone. Okay, you can start your own cream stone. Like us, Linux also having different flavors, like Red Hat, Ubuntu, as something happened to the recording. Okay, I think there is some network issue, I guess. Uh, now, so many things that we have learned, right? Now we need to start the practicals. I have talked so much about servers. Okay, so we will be starting creating servers. Okay, a Linux server. That to what Linux server? A Red Hat family Linux server. That to Amazon Linux. Okay, where you will be creating first thing? I want to create a server. I will ask you to create a server. Where you will be creating the server? First thing, what is required? Hardware is required. Now you should ask where we should get the hardware. As I said, right, where will be the hardware will be on cloud. AWS dot Amazon dot com. Now time has arrived. Now time has arrived. You have to create it before proceeding to the further classes. Otherwise, you cannot practice. Okay. While you look at the class in me, it looks very simple. But when you start practicing it, it will become difficult. So you have to follow with me. Okay, for that, go ahead and create an AWS account while coming to the next class. Okay, if you have account, you can start creating servers. Okay, I'll show you how to create a server, a Linux server, and then I'll show you after creating the server where it will be on cloud somewhere. How to connect to the server? That is also important, no? If you create, what is the use? We need to use it, right? Okay. How to use it? We'll connect. When you connect, you will use it. I'll ask you to install a web server. How you will install? When you connect. We have to connect, you have to log in, and you have to connect to the server. I'll show you how to create a server and how to connect to the server. Okay. I think it will take two classes. Might be. Okay. If you are sharp enough, we'll connect or we'll do it within a single session, but it's not possible. Anyways, creation of the server will be having few steps. Okay. And even almost I have used AWS Linux like past 8 months back. Okay, they'll keep on changing the GUI. GUI means user interface, graphical user interface. Options are same, but somewhere it will be there. You need to identify. Okay. Now we are working on our own data center in our company, so even we'll see once we log in. It's not a rocket science, right? You know the concept, you can use it. So it's mandatory to come to the next class, that is on Monday. Hey, unable to hear me? Are you able to hear me? How about now? Lokesh, am I audible?
Yeah, Sandeep, now we are audible. Like for 10 to 15 minutes, we were not able to hear you.
From the past 15 minutes, you can't hear me.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Where did you guys stuck?
While you were explaining about Linux.
Are you missed that?
Yeah, after that part we missed. Will that be covered in the recording or will it be missed in that also?
So you understand this one? You got this one, right? Two different families: Red Hat family and Debian family.
No, no.
Okay. After that, you didn't miss much. Okay. I'll give you a video to the management. They'll forward that. Okay. I think it might get recorded, so you can find that over there. Okay. But the key thing is you need to open your account aws.amazon.com. Well, coming to the next class. Next class will be on Monday. It's Friday, right? Today. So Saturday and Sunday I cannot take this week. Okay. Slowly we'll start. I'll keep you engaging on Saturday also. Okay, but not on the same time. But we'll start at 10 o'clock or something, and we'll that's all 1 or 2. Monday, 10 o'clock. Monday same time. Right, sir?